The two greatest words in sports. Game 7. Welcome to
Nice.
the Sports Corner podcast. Today we're going to be talking about Game 6 of the NBA Finals and the lead up to the much anticipated Game 7 that we're all very excited for. So, without wasting too much time, let's get into it, man.
Let's
Let's talk.
go. This is what we wanted, and
Yeah.
we got it. This series is too good to not have a
Mhm.
game seven. This is how it should be. These are the two best teams, and they have a chance to, at least for the Pacers side, to shock the world and who's going to come up on top. If you win,
Right.
you get everything. If you don't, you're nothing. Like no one will
Right.
remember you. So
Like I remember talking to you about this, but this has been one of the craziest playoff runs. And if the Pacers do lose this, then this whole run will just be scratched out from history and won't be remembered as
I
well as
know.
it could be. And that's the sad part.
I know, but you have to respect the Pacers too, really, of what they accomplished, even if they lose Game 7. I mean, what they did, no one thought twice about this team. We keep talking
Hmm.
about this, and they keep continuing to prove no one thought twice that this team would make it, let alone pass the first round, and they have a
Yeah.
chance to win against arguably the best team this year. Not arguably the best team this year
Hmm.
in their house and shock the world. I can't wait. I think this is going to be a great basketball game. It's going to come down to the wire. It's probably going to come down to one or two plays. I don't know what's going to happen, but I can't wait to get into this.
Yeah, I mean that's what you can always really be excited for a game 7 and hope to expect is for a close game because it's the last game for everything. So
Yeah.
you want it to have drama in the end, just like the last game
Last game
7,
seven.
which
Yeah.
was in 2016 between the Cavs and the Warriors, and you remember how dramatic that ending was.
It
And
was. It
yeah,
was.
you want that.
And
That's what you want for a game 7.
yeah, and I feel like it's going to be a lot like that game because I feel these two teams, OKC, I still think is the better team, but Pacers have proved that they're a very close second and they're almost close to being evenly matched. And now they have the momentum too because they dominated in game 6.
Hmm.
Like remember I picked OKC in 6 and I honestly thought they would close it out
I
a
did
couple
too.
nights ago, especially with Halliburton being injured. But here are the Pacers again, just putting on a show. And I feel like this is the best they played all series. They totally were in control of the game, especially the second quarter. They went on a 30-9 run, and OKC just looked like they were playing on skates.
They fell
Halliburton,
apart.
even with his injury, he didn't look like he was injured. Pascal Siakam had a great game. We have to talk about TJ McConnell too. Let's go back to game 5 for a second too. Even though the
Hmm.
Pacers lost that game, McConnell was he's a great player for the Pacers who gives them energy and he got them back into the game. He went on 11-0 run by himself and and got them back into the game. He is such a dog. Only 6'1", and he's making rebounds over Hartenstein and Chet
Yeah, that's
Holmgren, who are
insane.
7-footers, and just getting the team extra possessions. And his mid range shot, I don't know how he jumps like 5 feet high. It's crazy. And if I were the Pacers, I know Halliburton's going to start, but McConnell is going to get. I feel in Game 7 he's going to get a lot of minutes because I feel like he's the X factor. We talked about
Hmm.
this too. He's the X factor, and I think he will give him good energy, and he will deliver and just will his team in Game 6. And the Pacers, like I said, this was the best they played, and they just got to bring that in Game 7, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you really do need that X factor player, like what we were talking about in one of our earlier pods about Thunder, how like Caruso really showed up for them and he
Yeah.
made the hustle plays. And he's not gonna, average 25 plus points, but he's gonna make the plays that matter the most. And that's who TJ McConnell is.
Yeah. And I don't know who it's going to be, but there always is in the game 7 that one player who's not always the scorer
Mm,
on the team, but there will be that player that will knock down shots and that just have a high percentage shooting game and just make a lot of points. I don't know who it will be, but there's always a random player having a high percentage shooting game.
right.
If you go back to 2016, it was even though the Warriors lost, Draymond Green was that player
Mm.
who made six threes. And Draymond Green's not a 3-point shooter, but he was that he knocked down six threes all in a row. He was 6 for 6 from the 3-point line. I I don't know who it will be, but it's like maybe it'll be Caruso. I don't know who it'll be on either side, but I feel like it has to be. I hope it's someone for the Pacers because they're going to need that, especially in a rocking stadium like OKC. Because the atmosphere. OKC has that advantage though because they get to play at home and they're so good at home.
Hmm.
So the Pacers need to be shooting very high percentage and almost lights out, and not just from their star, not from Halliburton or Pascal Siakam. They need Topham to do well. They need Neesmith to shoot. They need Nemhard to have a great game too. I mean, they're all having a great game, but this is now they need to all contribute and shoot very well,
This is when it matters the
and
most.
it's when
It's
it
like
matters the
if
most.
there's any time to play at your highest level, this is it. And like looking back on Halliburton's last two games, I mean, game five he had his 4 points on just
Yeah.
free throws, and then he had 14 points in game six. But like he's been coming off of his injury, and he's been providing. He's been playmaking. He's being the leader that the Pacers need.
hmm
But I don't really expect him to drop an insane amount of points in game
No, that's not
seven.
who he is. That's
No,
not
it's
the type
not
of
who
super.
he
I think
is.
he's a superstar, but that's not the type of superstar he is. There can
No.
be different types of superstars. Halliburton's not a player to get 30 plus points in a game.
Mm-mm.
He can, but that's not how he plays. He's a great role player. He's a great distributor. He'll get that triple double kind of number. He can get up to 20 points. He can have like 8 rebounds, a few steals. I mean, he had what do you have? He had 5 steals in Game 6, and
Mm-hmm.
one of his steals made the whole stadium just rock. When that steal off of Jalen Williams, like I think that was the best play the Pacers had all season, all series.
Yeah,
He got that
by far.
steal, and they never dribbled the ball once. Well, he had two. One, the first one was when he got that steal, that
Hmm.
tip pass, and he threw it up to Miles Turner. Miles threw it up to Halliburton. Halliburton threw it to Pascal Siakam, and then Neesmith was in the corner, passed to Neesmith, corner three,
Hmm.
knocked it down, didn't dribble a single time. The second one was at the end of the half where Halliburton got that steal again on Williams and threw it no looker to Siakam, and Siakam dunked over Williams, and the place just exploded.
That
And
is just that kind of
when he
sequence
made
of
that,
events for
yeah,
Williams is that's got to feel bad because you get it stolen and then dunked on
I
in
know.
in the Pacers arena. Like that was the peak of that run because then
Yeah.
after that point, after because that was towards the end of the half.
Yeah,
And
after that, I
so,
just
yeah,
thought,
you come
okay.
back and it's just blowing them out.
And
Like
especially
they
when
just,
Siakam
yeah.
hit that buzzer beater to end the half, I thought, okay, this is I I really thought after that there was a chance the OKC could have potentially came back, but it was super slim. And then they just did it to themselves because in the start of the third quarter they didn't score for the first 6 minutes. Neither
Hmm.
did the Pacers, but if you want to get back into it, you have to get stops and then produce on offense. And OKC didn't do that. We said it too. Like this was one of the worst offensive games OKC has had all, not just this series, but in the entirety of the season. Like they just looked like they were on
Yeah.
skates.
They didn't look like themselves, but
No, they
that's the thing
allowed the
is
Pacers to do what the Pacers do: play with pace and get behind them. And when the Pacers are playing like that, they're almost impossible to stop. So
yeah, that's when they play the best is when they're like what you were just saying, like how they didn't really dribble, like they were passing the ball and
yeah,
they're playing team basketball. And so when when they get going and they have that energy, especially if they have their like spark plugs really um
well,
like elevating them like TJ McConnell and they're really
yeah,
clicking, then that's when they're most dangerous, especially in transition.
yeah.
And I think they really need to spread the wealth in game seven if they're going to succeed because that's when they play at their best is
It
when they're
also
really
helps too
spreading
when
it
you're
around.
playing at homes and you have your crowd.
Yeah.
The crowd plays a big factor. So that's what I mean when you go back to when it's back in OKC. And OKC is going to have the crowd on
Mm,
their side, and the crowd is going to be electric and going to scream and give it everything they have to get their team
hmm.
to win a championship. So
Well, that's why it's
Indiana
going to be
just has
such an
to.
electric game seven too, because of that
Yeah,
energy
yeah,
in the stadium. Like,
it will be. But Indiana, I feel like, is a team that can block that out and,
hmm.
knock down shots. And I think they can win this game. Granted, I'm not going to pick them to win this game. I still think
Mm.
OKC is going to win.
That's your prediction?
That's my prediction. Yeah, I think it will be a very close game. I don't know there could be, it's going to come down to one or two plays. But with the crowd on OKC side and how good OKC is at home, I'm still picking OKC to win in game
Yeah,
seven.
if I had to be like a betting man and had to really trust my money on this, I'd pick OKC because they're going to be consistent. Like you said, like it's probably going to come down to the wire, and I don't think they're going to have a full collapse like they did in Game 6. So
No,
I
no, no,
think
no.
it's going to be pretty. Yeah, it's going to be pretty close. And OKC, I can't really see them as a team that's going to like fall apart like that in back-to-back games. And
No,
so,
but
yeah,
neither of these teams do. Literally,
no.
like that's what makes these teams the two best, or not, but just great teams. If they have a bad game, they bounce back the next game.
Hmm.
So
They're
OKC,
mentally tough.
I have all the confidence in the world that OKC will have a great game.
So will
And
the
that's just who
Pacers.
they are. But Pacers have the momentum again. Like I said, they have the momentum. They just won. They dominated. They didn't just win in a close game. If they won in a close game,
The
I would
landslide.
definitely, yeah, they won on a landslide. And this
Hmm.
is not, that's what I mean about OKC. Like, they need to have that killer instinct. I think they've thought,
Hmm.
like, okay, this is going to be pretty smooth. I think they thought relied too much on Halliburton's injury. Like they
Mm.
thought that Halliburton wasn't going to be 100%. They thought it would be pretty not easy, but they thought they could knock down shots and just make it more simple and just kind of play like have a free flow game. But
Yeah, they,
they
they
pay
they
they
truly underestimated the Pacers because of the injury,
yes, they
and they
underestimated the
didn't
Pacers.
realize how much of a team that they were, like how strong their team morale is and their chemistry, and I think that's just what's made them push for this playoff run is just how much heart that they have. Each and
Yeah.
every single one of these players. It doesn't matter if you're Halliburton. It doesn't matter if you're far on the bench. Like everyone is giving it everything they got, and it's the finals is all about who wants it more.
And they
Yeah.
believe that they can win it all. Like, every team will say about, but Pacers really believe that they
Hmm.
are a championship level team, which they are, and they believe that they can take OKC at home and win this 7 game series. And and they've continued to prove time and time again that they can do it. I'm still picking, I don't know why I'm still picking OKC, but the Pacers can do it. If they're a team that can come into OKC and win. If OKC doesn't get their shit together, the Pacers
Then the
could
Pacers
win
will
this
catch
game.
them. They'll catch
Yeah,
them sleeping, and they'll,
they
you know,
will. They really will.
they'll take advantage of it, and that's
Yeah,
the scary part. You don't want to do that, and that's what they did in Game 6.
give you a
That
stat.
that that really is the matter of it. Is you just cannot underestimate like one team or the other, and I'm sure that they both teams have their guards up,
Yes,
and you're not going to leave anything to chance, and so that's why it'll be a pretty scrappy Game 7, but.
it will be a scrappy game 7, but there is a percentile. There is like a stat that helps the Pacers, where these last 2 game 7s, 2016 with the Cavs Warriors, and then
Mhm.
2013 and 2010. These last 3 game 7s. Have been who won those series was the team that won Game 6. So the
Mhm.
Cavs beat the Warriors in Game 6 to force a Game 7 back in Golden State and won that. Then the Miami Heat won with that Ray Allen three at home in Game 6 to force a Game 7, and then ultimately ended up winning the series. And then the Lakers and Celtics. The Lakers were in a 3-2 situation with the Celtics, and they won Game 6 and forced the Game 7. So, with the history with Game 6s in the finals, the teams that have won those games have ultimately won the championship. So,
Yeah,
that bodes well for the Pacers.
for Indiana.
That's just a
Yeah.
little stat. I don't, every series is year is
Yeah,
different,
I
but
think I mean with that track record, it gives you like if you're a Pacers fan, it gives you that hope because you are going into OKC's den, but
yeah.
you can't count the Pacers out even though they're the away team. Like it really is just it's must see TV. You got to see it. You got to see
Yeah.
what
How
happens.
awesome have these series been?
It's been
Not
amazing.
just this one, but these playoffs have just been
Hmm.
unbelievable. You know,
It's been
and the
one of the
fact that
best.
you know you also have to. play into the fact too that these are two teams who have never won it before, so they've
Hmm.
never experienced anything like this. I mean, Caruso won it with the Lakers, so he's had the and so he's had that championship mentality or that championship experience, and so is Pascal Siakam with the Toronto Raptors. But these two teams and these two organizations just have never won it before, so you know they're going to be nervous. You know the building's going to be nervous. The building's going to be loud, but they're going to have that nervous energy too. You
Oh
know,
yeah, and everyone
I'm
watching
so
at home,
excited. It's
everyone's
gonna
gonna be
be a
sweating
thriller.
bullets.
Yeah,
It's
it is
it's
going to
gonna
be a
be
dogfight,
yeah.
and I can't wait. I am so excited. I mean, I didn't make any plans for tomorrow night. It's like I am all in
You're
on this
sat
game
there and
seven.
ready to watch, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, like you, our picks and our predictions have been pretty similar along the way. But I'm still picking Thunder in seven, but I am so pulling for the Pacers.
Yeah, me
It's
too.
just this weird situation I'm in while watching it.
They're
But
just the underdogs.
yeah,
They're just a team. They're such a fun team to watch.
hmm,
You know, they're a fun team. And
yeah.
it's just
So
there, and it's an improbable run, and you always like the underdogs in this fight, and I don't know, they're just every time I just get so happy when they win,
hmm.
more than the Thunder win. I mean, I don't have a dog in this fight, but I really am pulling for the Pacers. It's just
It's just so much more sweet when someone that's not expected to win proves everybody
yeah.
wrong. So it's just you want to see the underdog win.
I wanted to
But
ask you though too,
yeah.
real quick. What do you think the over under is for Game 7
Mm.
prediction?
For over under, I think I gotta say like the over under split. Is it like a differential of like 200 points? Maybe Thunder has maybe people have the Thunder over by like 10 points over the
Uh,
over
hmm.
the
It,
Pacers.
no, actually not 10. 7.5. I'll give
Oh
it
wow.
by 7.5. So,
Oh wow.
kind of being a little disrespectful to the Pacers.
Yeah, I kind of am.
Well, I mean, that's kind of how Vegas has been this whole series. They've
Hmm.
always picked the Thunder. I think game one and game two have both been Thunder favored in double digits. So I get why you've said that, but
Oh yeah. No,
you know,
I'm going with a safe bet there, but I want them to prove me wrong. I want them to shut me up. So
I think, yeah, I think it will. They'll win. That my prediction is they'll win by single digits. I
like
think it'll
single
be
digit
six or
game.
under.
Hmm.
I don't know, but I don't know. I usually have a good, I don't know, a good, um,
Like a
I
good
don't know, not a
estimate
good
on
prediction,
this.
but a good, like, usually when you watch a series and how we do and we really watch the game, you really
Hmm.
usually have just like a good sense of what the outcome will be. But this series has just been unbelievable. This has been such a fun finals, and it's just sad because people have not wanted to watch these finals because they're like, oh, this could be such a boring one,
Right, because they're
and
not
this
big
has been
market
one of the most
teams.
lowest rated finals or viewing
Mm,
finals for a while because it's not the top market, it's not the top teams. You don't have the Lakers or the Knicks or the Celtics, but still, this is great
it's like
basketball.
pure basketball. I mean,
Yeah,
it's going to 7 games, so it's like
and you want the two best
it's been
teams.
competitive.
Yeah, and these are the two best teams, and you want the two best teams in the finals,
Hmm.
and they're giving you like if the Knicks made it. Let's just think about this hypothetically. Like, let's say the Knicks beat the Pacers. Like the Pacers were the
Hmm.
better team, but I don't think the Knicks would put up as big of a fight. And I think OKC could
No,
actually beat because the Knicks, unlike the Pacers, they only have five players. They have a great starting five, but they don't have a bench. Which the Pacers, you could almost honestly almost play their bench and start their bench,
right.
and be fine with that because they have a lot of depth. So do the Thunder, but the Knicks just don't. You want, even though these aren't the top franchises and teams you really don't, think about when you think of basketball, this is the best finals you could ask for. And we've for a long time, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely one of
So
the best finals in the last like yeah 10 years or so. And
9 years. The
oh
best one
yeah,
on
9 years, about nine
yeah.
years. Yeah, yeah,
We're as basketball fans, we are ready with our popcorn and
yeah,
we are so excited.
yeah.
For
And we're gonna
all of it.
definitely cover the aftermath of Game Seven and the new NBA
Yes.
champion and all of that. But yeah, I think
I think
I
that's
think
good.
that concludes today's episode. And yeah, I mean, we're beyond excited. We want to know what you guys think, what your
Hmm.
predictions are for this anticipated Game 7, who you think is going to be the new champion. And yeah, we're very excited to see how this all concludes for this exhilarating season.
Best
And
two words in
yeah,
sports. Best two words in
Game
sports.
7,
Especially in the
man.
NBA Finals. These are the best two words in sports.
Of
Yep.
course. Yeah. So,
Can't
yeah,
wait.
thank you guys for coming in and watching. Thanks, Kiki, for talking with me today. And
Hmm.
yeah, we'll
Thanks
hit
for
you
wearing
guys
the
back up.
Lakers jersey. I still,
Yes, sir.
yeah, still got to rep it. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
And we
Thanks,
can't wait for
guys.
Game 7.
All right. Bye.